Oh yeah. Y'all hear the music, so y'all know what time it is.
Just
We're about
right.
to go deep, baby. So I hope you got all your gear on. You know what I'm saying?
Up.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
You know what
boy.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure y'all got everything on properly and get y'all in that water right. That's why I am the splash specialist. And he gonna make sure that y'all navigate through all that stuff properly and don't get eaten by no sharks and shit. That's why he is the dive instructor. And
That's
I swear
right.
for goodness, I'm telling you, if I see one flotation device,
One.
it's a wrap, because we don't
wrap.
float. We don't
right.
demonstrate, bitch, we penetrate. Again,
facts.
I shouldn't have to keep telling y'all that. But shout out to the Schwebel Squadron. Shout out to old man Ali, or as the ladies like to call him, Chat BBC. Like I said, the ladies, not I, not my man over here. You feel me? Shout out to my man Weapon XR. Yeah, I took it back for you on that one. You did what I say there. Ha ha ha. Shout out to my man Eddie P, the overseer, because he will oversee things when you can't see him. You feel what I'm saying? And shit, we used to need him for real back in the days of them performances. You know what I'm saying? But without further ado, we bring to you Deeper Dives Dialogue Unlimited, baby.
Unlimited, limited. Yeah.
Yeah, man. What's cracking with you?
Well, it's percolating, pimping. Let's get it rolling.
Time for the percolator, not the big and view with the activator. Yes, sir.
Show you right.
For sure, man. So, what's up with these kids, man? Badass kids running around here.
Badass kids.
But I mean, sometimes it really ain't their fault, because a kid is gonna be just that, a kid, and they gonna act how they act. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna react to their environment. So, in the great words of T.K. Kirkland, and we've said this before, it's all about who raised you.
Who raised you, fool? We live, y'all. We live.
Yeah, I'm saying. I mean, sometimes it's about the parenting skills of some of these children. And I mean, you have the extreme parents, you got the moderate parents, and then, back in the day, you always had where it was like, man, I wish I had Johnny's parents. They was cool as shit, man. I wish I had parents like his, man. I could do whatever I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you can have parents like that too. But, I mean, nowadays, you kind of have the parents that are, I think everybody is seem to be the cool parent. But, I mean, there are some boundaries now. There are some boundaries, you know what I'm saying, that you just don't cross. You know what I'm saying? And when them lines get crossed, there's repercussions.
And consequences.
That part.
You gonna eat your cornbread? I'm gonna eat my
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, again, it depends on how those parents were raised. Because I mean, in that sense, we're the parents. You feel me? And we come with that line, that frame of mind, I should say, well, I ain't gonna do my kids like my parents did me. But then sometimes you find yourself sounding just like your parents. You be like, damn, I sound just like my parents right now. And you be like, dude, this is some bull in some cases. But then you be like, you know what? They was right in some other cases. So I mean, it depends on the situation and all that too. You feel me? But I mean, we got a clip of some parenting in what they call old school parenting and how it's dealt with. You know what I'm saying? So roll that footage, John. Roll that footage and let them know how it go.
Oh, you wanna dive right in?
Why not?
All right. Well, let's do it then. All right. Let's see here. Presents. Yes. Let's get it crackulating. What the peepers?
No, you had your shirt tied up, right? Do the chair, because if it fall, I'm beating your ass. I don't give a damn. Long as I'm paying the bills, y'all gonna listen to me. Long as I'm paying the bills, do the chair like I said, Junior. Do that chair. You think you got friends at school? You like boys now, right? Just because you 12 and you 13, y'all think y'all grown. Do the chair. You stealing? Do the chair. Y'all gonna learn today. You got the wrong mother.
Do the chair. Now, as you can hear in this mother's voice, the southern drawl, you can tell she's from the South. And she came up in that era where you had to go pick a switch to collect that whooping. You know what I'm saying? Now, the caption said that she was from the old school and she don't play. And I guess the daughter was tying her shirt up, showing her body to young boys, I guess. I don't know. And the son was stealing. Now, I mean, I didn't read the comments or anything. And she had them holding up chairs up against the wall. And if they fell, she said she was going to beat that ass. Now, this is what she said. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, and of course, she videotaped it and put it on social media. Now, I'm sure there were mixed emotions about this. I'm sure some people were cheering her on. I'm sure there were some people that were saying, oh, well, you shouldn't be doing this to them. That's cruel and unusual punishment. Well, for one, aside from the fact that it was put on social media, as she stated in said video, she pays the bills. So until you pay the bills in her house, you pretty much don't have a say as to what she does with her children. That's just my take on it. And honestly, that could have been a video of her beating her children with something. The children screaming bloody murder. I mean, it could have been a whole lot worse than what it was. I honestly, and this is just the opinion of Disco Kane, aka Filet Aficionado, I don't think it was that bad. I mean, shoot, they was holding up chairs. I don't think them chairs was that heavy.
Well, let's see. We used to have to hold up dictionaries. Or encyclopedias.
That part.
Or hold your hands out in front of you and squat and hold up the wall, they would say.
That part. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think it was. I mean, and also it depends on how long she told them to hold that up for. You know what I'm saying? That video wasn't a long video. So, but yet and still, it could have gone a whole lot worse. You know what I'm saying? She could have did some other type of torture that was, as they would say, cruel and demeaning to them. She could have called them all types of names or whatever. There could have been a whole lot of things done that was a lot worse than what was shown, in my opinion. So I personally don't think that that was bad, to be honest with you. What you think?
I don't think it was bad. I think it's like this. Discipline has to be laid down somehow in the household. And obviously they respected her enough to carry out what she doled out as punishment. So, I mean, that is the order of her household, and no one's being harmed. No one has to make a hospital visit. The police don't have to be called. CPS don't have to make a visit and snatch nobody about the house.
That part.
So all's well that ends well, and you know, that's all I really got to say about that
And
on that particular aspect.
well, you brought up the words discipline and also punishment. Now, let's visit that for a second. Now, when you were younger and you got in trouble for something, let's say parents may have taken the Nintendo away or something, or you couldn't go outside for about a week. What did you call it? Like after school and your friend was like, hey, we about to go over here and play some basketball. What did you say? Oh, I can't go outside.
Till after I finish my homework.
Or like I can't go outside because I'm on punishment.
Right. I'm punishment. I'm grounded.
Okay.
Yeah. My privileges are non-existent at the moment.
Right. For sure. So yeah, it's my thing with my reason for speaking on that is because some cultures, when they get privileges taken away or something like that, they say I'm on punishment.
Right.
Other cultures will say, oh, I'm grounded. Now, as far as the difference between the two, I mean, there really isn't a difference. But I've noticed as of lately, when the laws have changed and you have to discipline your child, and let's just say you can't spank your child, which is a form of discipline. But now in some of these court systems, they're calling it corporal punishment.
Right.
So this might be something a little controversial, but I feel it's the truth. Now, we all know what culture, main culture, is the ones who give out spankings to their children. And those that don't, right? Majority that don't, right? Allegedly. Okay.
Hypothetically.
Now, also, allegedly and hypothetically, the culture that does give spankings to their children have also had a long history of getting the same lashes
Amen.
and spankings.
Speak on it.
Shall we say whippings?
All right.
Themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the culture that has made the laws of spankings now corporal punishment is the same alleged culture that has been allegedly accused of whipping and spanking said culture from the beginning. Now, you correct me if I'm wrong. This is all alleged, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, how is that it was once right before to set somebody in line, to set somebody straight? Now it's not. And then, and not even then, and now you have a lot of, let's just say, things that are happening under the Second Amendment, right? Allegedly. And it's happening by the alleged culture who is deeming corporal punishment spankings, allegedly. And not much is being done with the Second Amendment laws, allegedly. Now, granted, if these laws are for everybody across the board, cool. I don't have a problem with it. But if these laws are only here to protect a select few and not across the board, then that's not cool either. But we're speaking on right now these badass kids, but these badass kids can fall into that category as well too. So, to get back on topic, as far as doling out punishments, consequences, and repercussions for said bad behavior, I don't think that mother was wrong in that. And you are absolutely correct. Those children respected her enough to take the consequences that were dealt to them. Now, on the other side of that, what about badass kids who just don't respect their parents?
Well, I mean, there's always the Saudi solution.
And what would that be?
Public stoning.
Hey, well, hold on. We gotta be specific here, because you could have some of them parents that think that public stoning is just being high in public.
Well, I mean, that's kind of going on.
Look, public stoning is being high at Target, specifically. You know what I'm saying?
That goes on too. That's part of bad parenting, right there.
Oh shoot!
Yeah. Instead of Adderall, it's Strattera, or what's the other one? What's the other one they give for ADHD and ADD?
Oh man, it's on the tip of my tongue.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes they prescribe that they go on and medicate a different way, CBD. But yeah, I mean, look, there has to be some type of way to reel a child's mind and behavior in to some type of acceptable manner.
Yeah, and before we continue, let's just say this: there really is no such thing as bad parenting, unless you just ain't there and don't care at all. You know what I'm saying? There really ain't no such thing as bad parenting. Being there for your child and showing your child love and that they are wanted. That's basically all a child really needs, and some guidance. Good guidance, you know what I'm saying? But there really is no such thing as bad parenting. We are not here to condemn any parent in any way, shape, or form. This is all for entertainment purposes only, and it's all allegedly. Keyword entertainment and alleged. Just saying. Now back to the regularly scheduled program. Yeah, man. I mean, it's all different types of parenting methods, parenting skills, and just like my man was saying, I mean, gotta find a way to engage their minds in some type of way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? Something to stimulate their mind. Stimulate your mind, Craig. Well, that's the public stoning thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but yeah, I mean, but just some type of action. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't do a lot of talking with no action behind it, because that really doesn't get much results, or the results you think that it'll get. It's not really gonna get you nowhere. And before we go any further as well, you just can't sit your child in front of the TV or the iPad and think that that's going to do it.
But they used to call that, what was it? It was a movie or a show. They actually called it The Babysitter. Then, of course, in the late 80s, The Idiot Box, The Boob Tube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just going to fry the brain. And
yeah, brain rot is real.
Yeah. You can quote all type of other stuff that they seen on TV. And
yeah.
I mean, unless it's if you do choose to do that, make sure it's at least some educational stuff on there. Some stuff to enhance the brain.
Yeah, I mean, apparently the American Academy of Pediatrics used to recommend less than 2 hours of screen time for children ages 5 and up, and now moving away from giving specific hours. But I mean, I have a 4-year-old going on 5, and if that dude doesn't get to watch what he wants to watch on YouTube,
I
not
already know, bro.
not YouTube Kids. I mean, he will try to wreck shop in the house. And, listen, man, as old as my ass is, I have to get up and chase after him, grab him, pull him away, pull him down, redirect.
I can dig it, bro. I can dig it. But I mean, shoot. Man, I remember them days when it was just go outside and it was all right for a
Yeah,
couple of hours.
get out my house and shut the door. I don't pay bills to heat the outside.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, in the words of a good friend of mine's father, go outside and play with yourself. Don't play with me.
Right.
Can't say that these days.
That's a whole new meaning now, boy. You come back in with a case. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So look, man, we like you said, man, we used to go outside. We had friends in the neighborhood. These kids want to text on their parents' phone, get mad when they can't get their own phone. I had one child, I'm not gonna say no names, love her dearly, but she, I found out she was trying to be a YouTuber on her own, had set up the account and everything. Wasn't even 9 years old yet.
mm,
Who is raising y'all? Listen, I had to take that, delete that account, if we're gonna do it together as a family, like I've seen some do it, fine. You know what I mean? But you can't just let your kids be out here on social media or on podcasting platforms or live streaming, you know, walking through your house, recording without saying anything.
Ooh, wait, man.
Man, listen.
Yeah, buddy. No bueno at all. At
Not at
all.
all.
That is not good. Not a good look. I've seen some bad things happen with that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, with the amount of missing children and adults, and
Yeah.
they just busted some man. My mother was telling me, she shared this story with me. Well, she was sharing it with me verbally. This man had taken these people that were being trafficked, and after having his encounters with them and taking them hundreds of miles away from where the encounters took place and imprisoning them in these structures that he made with cinder block and a whole bunch of other crude materials, but he had soundproofed the joints and everything.
Wow.
Woman had to break herself out using her fist through the cinder block. She had bloody knuckles and everything, and she had to break shackles. So
Awful.
kudos to her for getting away and getting help, for her and the others. But
Most definitely.
you don't want your kids, get caught up in this cesspool.
For sure. Yeah, thinking they on some YouTube talking to little friends. You don't know who's watching that.
Yeah.
You do not know who's watching that. I've watched so many daggone episodes of Dateline where it'd be little kids playing their little online games, and it could be on PS4, 5, or Xbox or something. And it'd be a strictly a kids game. They think they talking to kids. Nah, it'd be some perv out there,
I'm trying to tell you.
man.
Don't do it.
Be having a legit monitor these kids, man. And it's not even on some. Well, I'm not gonna say it's overprotective because shoot, you can never be overprotective of your child's safety. You know what I'm saying? Making sure your child is safe, that's a priority. That's top priority. You know what I'm saying? So you can never be too overprotective of them.
Yeah.
But it's some wild stuff going on out here, man. I mean, shoot, uh, down here, it's like the normal to get an Amber Alert on your phone at least twice a month. At least twice a month. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
back home, like I would, I would maybe get an Amber Alert, maybe 2, 3 times a year at that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
down here, it's like, dude, like, are you serious? Another one, another one. Like, dude, it's to the point where it's like you hear the phone vibrate really long. What is that? Oh, it's just an Amber Alert. Like that's sad that it's so many that it's normalized now. You check to see where it is and who the child is, and be like, okay, you thank God that it ain't one of yours, but you hope that the child comes back safe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is sad, really sad, for sure. But
It's man, look. That's why I've gotten so that even in public, when I'm out with my family, when I'm out with my children, especially, and people come up, oh, you have such nice kids, or they want to start trying to talk to my kids. If I don't know you, man, don't talk to my kid. I'm just letting you know now. You're liable to
oh yeah,
more than get your head bit off. Because
oh yeah, I always had that angry looking security guard look on my face, for sure. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad that society has gotten to this point, but we're here.
Mm-hmm.
We're here.
Yeah.
Um, it's to the point where you can't discipline your children using what used to be called corporal punishment without possible allegations being levied, or railed against you for abuse.
Right.
But
Right.
they can tell you that your child wants to be the opposite gender. They want to have surgery.
I was about to say that, bruh. I was about to say that. Yeah.
hmm hmm So
And
where are we headed? What's your take on that? Where are we headed, man?
straight to hell. Straight to hell, Craig.
Man,
Dude, this is so crazy because I was just thinking that like you can't discipline your children, but like you were saying, your children can say what gender they choose to be at whatever age.
hmm
When before at a specific age, they couldn't even testify in court without a guardian ad litem.
that part.
You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Let's just say allegedly, I know someone.
allegedly, that's crazy, bro.
Very, very, very close friend of mine could almost be one with me. Had to file at one time for emergency protection, for their child, and even petition the court for an ex parte hearing. They said the child wasn't old enough, and in most states, the age for emancipation is probably about on average is probably about between 16 and 18 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the average age for statutory, laws pertaining to, you know, in being able to make the decision to engage in, you know, adult activities. In some places it's 17, some places it's 16, some places they have to be legal age of 18. It's
Mm-hmm.
you know, what do we do about this? What can be done?
Right.
I mean, the ballot is one thing. Going out
Man,
and voting, but
here's where it's gonna get interesting. Okay, now say that the law passes that they figure out that you can decide at whatever age you want to figure out whatever gender you want to be, right? Okay, now this is all allegedly, all allegedly. Now let's just say that at the age of 12, age of 11, you have a group of boys who decide that they want to transition to girls, right?
mm,
Okay, and that law passes, and they all do this.
hmm
Now, let's just say that God forbid something happens to these boys who transition to young women, and not even saying that it's as a hate crime or anything or nothing like that. Just say that no, let's just say period point blank. All right, boom. They know for a fact that they're doubly marginalized, and they want to protect themselves just in case something something tries to happen. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Now, they want to carry weapons. They want to carry guns.
Mm.
Oh, well, you can't. Well, it's my Second Amendment right. Now what? How are we going to play that one?
Good question. I mean, there are not strict, but there are gun laws in place in most places that, regiment an age or dictate an age that one has to be to legally bear arms, right? Unless they're hunting. But as we saw in that case in Michigan, where that one young man, what was his name? Do you remember his name?
I cannot remember his name.
Yeah, he was carrying his hunting rifle, technically, and ended up having to discharge rounds into some grown men who, one had a skateboard, and it wasn't a one-on-one situation, but still, it's kind of questionable because it's like, who raised you?
Exactly.
Why were you out at that time in a whole nother town, miles away from home, in the city, not in the country, not in the woods, not on the registered hunting ground, not in a state protected park, or not state protected park, but those areas that are designated during hunting season where with a permit or license you can go and hunt, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And back to the whole, reassignment thing, not to harp on it because, it's not really a thing that I like to talk about often, but it's just pressing right now. Ohio is issue one um, coming up for this vote. I want to say the 8th. I might be off on the date, but I want to say it's Tuesday, next Tuesday. We're supposed to vote on issue one, where they could possibly pass the law that they passed in California, where your kids can tell the counselor at school that they feel like, whatever, and they can have that reassignment uh, procedure done in order to change their gender. And this is a permanent decision that is going to alter their ability, of course, to reproduce, whether they be male or female, or whether they be transitioning from male to female or female to male. You know, and me not being not a religious person at all anymore, and haven't been for decades at this point, it makes you kind of wonder. I mean, let's just, I hate to use this phrase, but if there is a God, right, they're definitely spitting in their face, his or hers or theirs. It's, it's one of those things, man. Like, how far will we go? How far will we go? Or will we allow things to get, you know?
Bruh, I just thought about something. With you saying all that, like as far as like, well, transitioning from a male to a female or a female to a male, and you said like, I mean, yeah, I get the whole like non-binary thing and everything, all that too.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat.
But I mean, honestly, that don't bother me at all.
Me either.
Here's what's gonna bother me with all this new technology and everything. It's gonna be people that's like, yeah, I'm not even human. I'm AI now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's gonna be the new wave. I'm telling you, but I'm an android.
Look, and with Neuralink and other technologies, it's quite feasible and very likely that that's going to be
Dude.
an option and a possibility for some who wish to make that transition.
I mean, let's think about it, man. If somebody get enough microchips put in them, I'm no longer a human. You can call me an android.
Mm.
Well, what is your name? 7522386 dash bitch. Just say.
Say that last part again. Say the last part. Yeah, man. Serial number instead of your social serial number. You know what I mean?
Facts.
It's headed that way, man. What brand? What brand are
You know
you?
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Bruh.
You know, are you an Elon series or are you a Gates series
Well,
5?
bruh, think about it. You think about it. Everybody talking about, well, I gotta have this is my brand. Well, you about to start being your own brand now.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's gonna
Invent a
head to.
brand, invent a label. I mean, and look, I mean, not like I said, I'm not picking on anybody who has a gender preference as far as their sexuality. My only quibble or quarrel with any of it is, like I said, you're talking about affecting the ability to reproduce, and that is one's own choice. But when you're telling us on one hand that the human brain is not fully developed until the age of 25, but you're still charging teenagers as adults for murder and rape and all these other things. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I'm just saying you cannot have it both ways. At least we shouldn't allow them, or we shouldn't allow whoever to have it both ways. That just doesn't, it's not logical. It's not reasonable. And it's ridiculous, in my opinion, allegedly. But, you
Well,
know,
when it hits home for one of them, then that's when I guarantee the it'll be a paradigm shift.
well, we're
You
talking
feel
about
me?
people that are so filthy, stinking, materially wealthy. I won't call them rich, that they could purchase, allegedly, an individual from a downtrodden, underprivileged, underrepresented family that has the same features. Follow where I'm going with this.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Say that that's their offspring and use them as a poster child and have no emotional or physiological connection to that human being because they didn't come from them to promote whatever it is, you know. And I think that whatever it is allegedly could be genocide because, you know, population control is overused as a term. And I don't think that a lot of individuals that are using that terminology even grasp the difference in the magnitude of those words. Population control is one thing. Genocide is complete annihilation. Population control is what it sounds like, culling the herd. Take a few out, knock a few off, cut back a little. And there's really no reason for it because, I mean, I forget how many square miles of arable, usable, non waste polluted land there actually still is that is unoccupied and uninhabited by humans on this planet. So, you know, in the name of greed, in the name of control, you know, for whatever their end game, you know, plan is, this is what we're seeing. I mean, plastic corn legalized, you know, plastic vegetables legalized. It's edible plastic, but is it, just because it's edible doesn't mean it's digestible. You know what I mean?
Word,
This is where we
word,
are. This is where we are. This isn't where we're headed. This part is where we are.
word.
You know, when is enough a fucking enough? You know, then now that they're coming for the children. You know, 85,000 children go missing in custody of so-called federal or governmental, you know, employees, and no one seen hide nor hair of them. You have the highest rate of kidnapping or missing children in Ohio history. in Cleveland going on right now. They've busted at least 5 rings in the town of where I was residing, Mansfield. Shout out to Mansfield. Not for that, but shout out to Mansfield for the good people there. Uh, my loved ones and extended family members. But it's insane, bro. It's insane what is happening right now. You know,
Crazy.
forget just putting a band-aid on it, man. Forget a tourniquet. It's time to shit or get off the pot.
Yeah,
It
for
really is.
sure. For sure. They probably got him in some soundproof cinder block room putting together plastic corn.
You never know.
I'm just, dude. That's crazy though, man. For
I
real.
mean, you know, I've ran into some crazy stuff. I happened to check out Candace Owens' podcast the other day, and she had a really good show. Really good show. I know there's a lot of people that have ill will and ill feelings towards things that she said or was misinformed about, and she kind of came clean on some of those things on the podcast, and I think that took a lot of courage, and also a lot of insight on her part. But yo, like her or hate her, y'all need to check that podcast out when she's talking with. Uh, she was talking with this brother. He's a Nigerian brother. He's from. He grew up in the UK partially, but he also spent time growing up in Saudi Arabia, and he was explaining the difference between East versus West mentality when it comes to government and social climate. And it was a brilliant conversation. And she came forward explaining how she was misinformed about the laws in places like Saudi Arabia, the difference in strictness, but it's because, there is no separation of church and state. Where here we have the illusion of separation of church and state, but there really isn't one. The state is a church. If most people actually study what General Assembly means and they look up what their House of Representatives is listed as under the law, it is an ecclesia, which is, of course, the Greek term for church. Those of us that grew up in the church, shout out to y'all. Congratulations on your escape. Hopefully, you'll continue to survive. Um, but I mean, listen, man, I don't even want to go too far deep into, but you know what? That's what we do, right? But what's the biggest scandal right now that's rocked the Catholic Church, right? The P word that you got to be careful saying because they screen for it with the algorithms. But listen, man, the kitty touchers, I have some other terms I don't want to use. I used to be a CO, prison guard, so we kind of have a little bit of a wacky sense of humor because you're in an unnormal, unnatural environment. Abnormal, excuse me.
Is the
Unnatural.
first is the first syllable cho?
Well, yeah, there's Chomo, and then I mean, and then there's Pamper Pumper. There's a bunch of them. Man, I'm not. Don't get me in trouble, man. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of them, man, and it all basically comes down to people with that unnatural affection towards those who are innocent and without defense and without the ability to make those type of choices for themselves adequately. And then of course, man, if you have reassignments going on, that's what they used to call it, transitions taking place, maybe be more up to date. Altar boys become what? And and then you have the rationale, or what's the word I'm looking for? The words I'm looking for. those who would try to rationalize their unnatural affection and say, well, this person feels like a 26-year-old woman. Yeah, but he's actually a 13-year-old male,
See, here's my thing
cisgender
on that.
male at that.
Here's my thing. If you
But
have to convince yourself about something or try to talk yourself or rationalize something, it ain't right.
we know this. We hold these truths to be self evident. But there are those.
Oh shoot.
There are they, them. Sorry, let me stop. There are others who seek to destroy uh, everything conventional, traditional, and or wholesome or holistic. I mean, they've banned certain herbs. I mean, we can this topic can build on so many layers of discussion that we could go on for hours. We won't. Don't worry, audience. We're not going to do that today. Not this week. Not this week. But keep stick around. Stick around. But yeah, it's just it's a point where something has to be done, and I'm not even sure that it's not too late in a sense. I'm not a fatalist. I'm not speaking negative. I'm not throwing in the towel. Not tossing up the hands. But I'm just saying, one person isn't going to be able to do this. One group, one movement. That's not going to cut it. One politician in office ain't going to change a damn thing. Not even 10 politicians. This is going to have to be across the board. Action has to be taken.
Yeah.
And look, man, there's nothing more precious than our children that we have at stake. They're the future.
That part. For sure.
Top, what did Tupac say? He said there ain't no hope for the youth. Then the truth is there ain't no hope for the future.
That part. For sure. For sure.
So get these kids together, man.
For sure. We gotta get some of these adults together because
There you go. I was about to say it, but go. You beat me to
you
the
gotta,
punch.
you gotta get some of these adults together because the way it's looking, some of these kids got more sense than some of these adults.
That's a fact.
Realness.
That is a fact. And it's
Realness.
always been that way to a degree. But here's the thing: it's more pronounced, it's more prevalent now because they're they have more of a voice, they have more of a platform, uh, they have a wide audience. Shoot, in some instances, you talk about TikTok, you talk about Instagram, you talk about Twitter, Snapchat,
Yeah.
the world over, they got an audience. You know what I'm saying? So, what's our excuse, man? These,
Yeah.
as adults, go into your city council meetings, go into, go and talk to your state representative face to face. You know,
Yeah.
try to call a couple times, try to make an appointment, but if not, show up in numbers. And I'm not
Yeah.
talking about being violent. I'm saying, but show up in numbers with a voice saying the same thing. We're not for this. We're not going to deal with this. We no. That's not even going to come across the House floor. We don't even want that to make it that far, like unanimously. You know what I mean?
Word. Word.
Because man, that that old school family dream. Oh man, I want my kid to have kids. I'm gonna have grandkids and great grands, and you know, man, that's all about to be a thing of the past.
Word.
You know,
Word.
it could very soon reasonably become a thing of the past, a bygone era.
Unless you're willing to relocate to another country.
hey, some of those countries are in alignment, some of them are not. Some of them are already, already on it. You know, it's crazy. Like, I was just talking to Beatdown the other day, right? Y'all don't know who Beatdown is, but shout out to Beatdown Brown, my main
Word.
man. Creator of the theme song for the Three the Hard Way, 3 p.m.D podcast Tuesday nights. Y'all check them out. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. There's a bunch of different places you could probably check them out. Tumble. I'm sorry, Rumble. Excuse me, rumble.com. You can find us
Word.
there as well. Yo, but we were talking, man, and he was explaining how when they were gigging with one of the groups he used to tour with, doing the hip hop scene, and met that doctor, that surgeon allegedly that would do the reassignment surgeries here in the valley,
Mm-hmm.
and we got to chopping it up, and I explained to him, during World War II, the Nazi scientists and surgeons, they were doing that reassignment type of thing to you know the people who were under siege in Germany at the time, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and their children. And so those guys escaped death, and they came to obscure places. A lot of them ended up in South America, which we see documentaries showing and proving that. Um, their children and children's children, you know, are descendants of so-called Nazis. I mean, they're flying the swastika and all of that, and they're not necessarily even on the same shit that their grandparents was on, but they just know it's part of their heritage. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
No justification at all of that. So just to be clear, but the scientists or surgeons, some of them ended up in places like our hometown, and they were doing them surgeries, man. And every now and again in the red light district, you'd be riding past, and mommy, daddy, who is that? They didn't even know how to answer us back then. You know,
Yeah.
well, they ran into that guy, and he invited them to the place where those procedures were being performed. And he was saying there was one guy that was in the back room that they weren't allowed to go into and weren't allowed to meet. So the suspicion was that the guy that they couldn't see, that had a something covering his face in the back room, was the actual guy that did the actual surgeries. You know what I mean? He was the actual surgeon. But the other guy was like, I don't know, his liaison or whatever, his one that would make public appearances to the playhouses and things like that.
Mm.
Just a whole nother world out here, brother, that's always been, what I mean, coexisting right underneath, the surface. And that's why we
Yeah.
are the Deeper Dives Dialogue Unlimited team, bringing it to you live and direct.
Word.
Keep your eyes open and your ears open. You might want to
And
make,
your mouth closed, because
yeah,
something might fly in
you
it.
might want to keep your mouth shut, and you might want to make sure you can smell, because there's something in the air.
Off it. All the way.
Yes, sir. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Deeper Dives Dialogue Unlimited. We thank you for joining us. We hope that you're going to continue to participate in our quest to bring it to you in the deeper depths of understanding of this thing called life.
Yeah. Word is bond.
Any shout outs you want to give? Anything you want to plug, man?
I mean, hey, again, like, share, and subscribe. We here bringing it to you the best we can, taking it deep. Shout out to the rest of the Schwebel Room Squadron. said Old Man Ali,
Get your
Eddie P, and Beat Down Brown. For sure.
We got cryptocurrency available on crypto marketplace, OpenSea, Schweb3 tokens. Get your Schweb3 tokens.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying? Participate and congratulate. Don't hate. Try to be great.
Indeed.
You're moving from
Make
state
sure
to state.
that part, and make sure y'all tune in next week. Got a special treat for y'all. Can't tell y'all what it is yet. You just gotta tune in and find out for yourself. You did.
You must be there. You must be there.
Indeed.
Check us out. HTTPS. You know the rest. Rumble.com. Deeper dive. Get the vests.
That part.
Yes.
That
Support
part.
y'all. Support y'all. We love y'all. Thanks for our subscribers. Thanks for our viewers.
Indeed.
Please continue to check us out. And we welcome positive and constructive inputs. So
Word.
and the haters and the hate watchers too. So hey, look at these fools. Share it out.
But if it's some hate, just remember we return all smoke. Just because we deep dives and in the water, don't mean that we don't return smoke. Just saying.
Some of us are sharks out this bitch. Some of us are orca whales.
Oh shoot, you dig. Just saying.
Aye.
Oh.
Love, peace, and hair,
man. That part, 2 fingers, 1 love, and we out.
We out.